Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky 194, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to stop in and visit and check out my video. And we are here at Misano, one of my favorite tracks. I really enjoy this place, and it's good to get a little bit of practice in anyway. But James was requesting a setup for the Audi EVO2, so I saw just see what I could do, and it's been doing a little bit at a time, but finally got it where I want it. It's a very like it says in the title, I'll repeat it: solid and stable setup. It really is just checks all the boxes. It gives you a good base to go off of, depending upon, and we'll go over that when we go over the setup of things you can change and things you can do to make it a rain setup or whatever. So, again, let's go ahead and make a couple laps. I'm going to do one in the car, and we'll do the other out. A couple tricky areas that the car rotates very well. So again, you want to make sure that you got to just be a little bit cautious. You can go over these sausages; they're fine. You know, if you don't hit them really hard, but with the tires. Brake before the 50. Here, you can feel it rotate with the throttle really good here. So, and right here in this corner, you see me countersteer a teeny bit. See it? It'll rotate really quick on you there. So you just got on the gas. So again, you just got to be careful of that. Don't get overly aggressive with the wheel. Here, seems like it does better in first. I tried second, but you know, maybe you could get it to work, but it just seemed like I was losing time. Here, I used second gear in this corner until the last few laps. Once the tires start wearing a little bit, then you know, it seems like it can go down to first helps. But I try to use second, and you got to go in a little deep there and just get a nice long drive, especially since you're not using first. I mean, I went all the way up to sixth gear. Stay wide. Go down to third. Cut it in. Cut it in again. I started off with 65 liters. The hiss you could go over a little bit harder. I didn't hit that right. Again, just losing a little bit of time. I did a 15-minute stint, hot stint. So that was a 134.53. Different. We'll see WRT next year in the BMW, so that'll definitely be different. Gonna lose a good amount of Audis. I'm kind of curious if there's. I know they're not really. Guess they're kind of getting out of some of that. So shame. Lots of, you know, evolutions as far as the Evos have gone from the original Audi. I tell you the EVO2, and it's definitely my favorite out of all of them, without even, it's not even close. In performance and looks, even though they're really the same looking, but they're just little fascia differences in the wing and the back. I mean, just the curved wing. I mean, it just all looks so much better. That was my fast lap, and that was a 134.42. So let's go over the timetables, and again, I did a 15-minute stint. So the timetables, you can see here that I gave away on my fast lap, that fast lap in the third sector, I gave away almost 2 tenths. So yeah, I mean, I should have been down and was in my delta 34.2, 34.3. So again, it's there. It's just a matter of how, me, the driver, getting it, pushing it that much. But I tried a couple different things there at the end, and it wasn't working. So those are some of the reason why it was falling off, and I kind of made some adjustments for that. But it was pretty much holding mid 34s the whole time. So again, I'm not saying it probably would have slowed up, but I probably wouldn't have been that much because, like I said, and we'll go over that in the setup. But again, I think it's really good. The tire wear is good. Things always can be improved upon, always. But I think it's really solid. And again, I think for me, my pace, it's not bad. I mean, I'd like to see maybe again, it just should have been a 34.2, so that's not bad for me. I would have liked to see to get into 33s or just low 34s, but it's still really close. A lot of it depends on the weather and things like that. So setup. The main thing is under race conditions, qualifying. I'm sure it'd be really, really close to low 34s. Again, we got 25.4 left front, 25.3 left rear, 26.5 right front, 26 right rear. The toe's negative -0.2 with the camber at negative 3.6 on the left front, negative 3.5 on the right front with the caster at 15. The toe on the rear is a positive -0.1 with the camber at negative 3.1 on the left rear, negative 3 on the right rear. Again, I did all these to, as you can, with basically trying to keep the separation of the inner and the outer, trying to keep them as close to what I like as possible. So without going too much, I mean, you can maybe try one more click on both of these negative cambers and see how that goes. But pretty much it's going to, it's mainly feel. I don't really see any big difference. I did have this up at this. I did have it at there, and I didn't really care for it. So again, it just all depends on what you prefer, but you can go up a little bit more and try it. Electronics, I had it 4, 4, and 5, and I even put this up to 6 in the race. But again, just trying to be actually on the conservative side. So yeah, if you were wanting to qualifying or something like that, I'd probably turn all these down to 3. And because you don't care about the tires, just let it rip. Let it spin through the middle of the corner, whatever. Because you got maximum on the qualifying rubber. So again, I would probably do something like that for a qualifying. But other than for something that's you're just trying to hit a consistent time, that's what I would go for. Fuel, of course, I had 65 liters. Number 1 brake pad. We had light graining on the front, no big deal. And the wear is really good. A little bit more wear to the rear, so that's actually really good. I wouldn't mind maybe just a teeny bit more, being really picky though, a little bit more wear on the rear or a little less on, a little more on the front or a little less on the rear. But again, it's not that bad. It's still very close. The Audi got 3 for the Audi here on the anti-roll bar, 56 on the brake bias, 13 on the steering ratio. Springs in the front are 174,000 with a bump stop rate of 600 and a bump stop range of 2. And the springs in the rear are 163,000 with a bump stop rate of 700 and a bump stop range of 20. Anti-roll bar is 1 and the preload is 180. So go over this page. This is one of the reasons why at the end I was starting to turn down the brake bias and the back end didn't like it. So I basically turned it back up a little extra. So again, I started off at 55 in that stint, and then I went down to 54 and it didn't like it. So basically I just turned it up to start off at like 56. And that way, the back end, it'd be a little bit saving the rear tires a little bit more. So again, that might help with the wear also, and also just a balance. And then you go down to 55, you're fine. So again, that's not an issue. So something I would consider. Other than that, the preload, you can maybe go down to 160. But again, I would keep it in that range between 160 and 180. Again, I'm just really wanting the tires to drive. So the tire wear stays consistent in the rear, since this car is pretty aggressive with the rear tires. So I'm trying to keep it as balanced as I can. Shocks. Let's go over Motec. really quick. And here we go. I made some small adjustments. Nothing major, but I did make some small adjustments, especially on this right side. You can see the rebound is too high, but other than that, they're all really close. So, within a little bit. So a couple clicks here, a couple clicks there. This was the only one I did kind of a major adjustment on this one side, on this rebound up here, but that was it. And if you go through the laps, it looks the same on every lap. So let's go back. So we got on the left front 6, 12, 23, and 30. On the right front, we got 6, 12, 16, and 30. On the left rear, we got 8, 12, 15, and 19. And on the right rear, we got 8, 13, 16, and 21. So you can see they're different on all four wheels, I guess just depending upon the curbs and things that you hit. So again, but I tried to tune them as close as I could. You can see that with Motec, it was, it's good, it's close. Aero got 55 in the front, 60 in the rear with a maxed out wing at 5 and the brake ducts at 4 and 3. And the front aero variation is a negative 2.9. So again, I did try a 4 wing, but that's just useless. And speed-wise, it didn't gain anything. So, excuse my sinuses. But yeah, and the rear wing, it didn't gain. I tried to do a 4 and do some adjustments, lift up the front a little bit and things like that. But it didn't gain a single mile an hour down the down that back straightaway. So it's just a waste. So with this much power, you need all the wing you can get with the Audi. And most tracks, really, to be honest, probably 80 to 90% of the tracks, you're either going to run a 4 or 5 wing. I mean, you pretty much have to. The Audi has just got so much power that it just wants to swap in. So you're better off, and also you just end up wearing the rear tires faster because it's spinning. So you want to get as much grip as you can back there. So now, again, very great. This is a fun car to drive. Really fun around here to drive. What would I do in a rain setup? Well, in a rain setup, I would probably, again, go through my ABS and, probably my map too. But, I mean, change, not TC, I would probably come close to maxing out, maybe 6 or 7, and maybe max out the TC2. And ABS, I would go, ABS, I would definitely max out. But all the other ones, I would just go accordingly. That's the only thing I would do there. Tires, I would probably take maybe a couple clicks out of each one of these on the negative camber. I'd probably take a couple clicks out of that. And again, that is to get more rubber on the ground. Again, you're not going near as fast, so you don't need the negative camber in the tires. You need rubber on the road. So again, I would probably take at least 2 clicks out of every corner on the negative camber. And then on the aero, I wouldn't change. I already got it maxed out here. The only thing I would do is change just maybe 1 to 2 clicks in the front, like that, and see it gives you more negative front aero variation, and that also keeps you so you're not hydroplaning and you're able to go through the water. So that's probably something I would do. I go at least 1, maybe 2. Just depending upon how much rain it is. But that's all I would do and start from there and then go from there for a rain setup. So again, as far as a qualifying, the only thing I would probably do in qualifying is change my electronics and maybe go up 1 click in the rear to give it some more rotation. And of course, adjust tire pressures accordingly and things like that. But I would probably maybe do that for, and of course, a fuel load. Go with low fuel load and do that for qualifying to make that a qualifying setup. But again, I try to give some suggestions so you guys can change things how you want it. But again, this is super neutral. It's a little on the oversteery side, but I mean, really for the Audi, it's not that bad. To me, it's neutral for the Audi. But I mean, it really rotates well. It's predictable. It's not like it snaps. It doesn't do that snap oversteer. It has just a gradual slide or rotation to it, and like I said, I don't mind that at all, and it's still going. It's still digging. So again, you can always be a little more aggressive with this. I mean, you could go like me, TC a little bit more of that, or even go up more in the TC if you're wanting to. Maybe you got a longer race or something like that you want to save the rear tires. So again, and keep that same, maybe slow down a teeny bit, but you'll keep the pace longer. So you might want to consider something like that. But again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed this setup. Again, all my setups are free for you to try. I'll leave a link in the description. And again, I just ask for the support as far as liking and subscribing, and of course watching the whole video. I really appreciate that. And also, I have all these in my playlist too under the track. And I'm thinking about redoing that playlist in the near future here, all my playlists, and re-updating it for the new year and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be a in progress thing. But again, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back and visit again really soon. Y'all take care. See ya.